This is going to be a brief kind of special edition of the podcast where I just go over my favorite horror films of 2021. So it won't be very long. I'm going to leave links down in the show notes to each film. That way you can go check out all the little details and stuff, like directors and everything like that. I'm going to be pretty brief on my descriptions. I'm just going to kind of start from number 10 and work my way up to number 1. You know, like I said, this is a special edition episode. I usually don't do these, but there's a possibility I might do more in these type videos, throughout the year. We'll see. So, hope you enjoy this one. And, let's get to it. My number 10 favorite film of 2021 is going to be VHS 94. And you can find that streaming right now on Shudder, being that it is a Shudder exclusive. If you're a fan of the original VHS films, which I think there's 3 before this one, you're really going to dig. VHS 94 has the same feel to it, dark, filled with great directors. Each segment has a different director, a different feel to it, and they're all really good. So definitely recommend that one. Not all the segments are like winners. There's a few that are kind of lame, but still, they're not so lame where you're not going to enjoy it. It's still decent for what it is, but the few that really kill it. So definitely recommend that one. And like I said, the link to all these films will be in the show notes, so you get some more detail on it, figure out where to watch it at and all that stuff. So, but yeah, that's my number 10 was VHS 94. Definitely want to check that out. Okay, so we're going to go to number 9. My number 9 for 2021 was We Need to Do Something. We Need to Do Something was kind of like a film that hit me out of nowhere. I've heard rumors about it, like, oh, this is a cool film. Also heard some pretty shitty reviews about it. Well, I actually really dug it. I thought it was really, really cool. It's got a bit of a Lovecraftian feel to it, I guess you would say. A lot of sparseness. There's a lot going on, but it's outside, of what's going on with the family that's involved in this movie. Everything takes place outside while this family's trapped in the bathroom during, what could be like an apocalypse or something going on. It doesn't really say, and it never really explains everything, but I think that's what's cool about it. Sometimes not knowing is a lot scarier than what you already know. The fear of the unknown. And, this nails it. Great actors. Everybody does a really killer job. So, definitely want to check that one out. And it's streaming on Hulu. So if you have Hulu, give that one a watch. My number 8 is going to be The Night House. The Night House was recommended to me from a few people that, I trusted reviews and everything. And The Night House, was fucking killer. It surpassed everything I could hope it would, It was a great mystery thriller, slash horror film. You can take it many different ways. You can think, oh, maybe it's just a thriller film. Maybe it's, a horror film. It could be both. But I took it as kind of a thriller horror, with a good mystery to back it up. That was really good, really well acted and stuff. Everything about it just kind of, blew me away. So that was a good one. That's The Night House, and I think I saw that one. I'm pretty sure I rented that on Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to have to rent that one, but it's well worth it. Let's see. My number 7 is going to be The Medium, which is streaming on Shudder. If I'm not mistaken, this is also a Shudder exclusive. They're kind of, they kind of always hit it out the park, and they're doing it again for 2021. The Medium, if you go by the artwork that they have on Shudder or even on IMDb, the artwork is kind of misleading. It looks like, it's going to be a happy-go-lucky type supernatural film. Nothing's going to go on here, but this one here is fucking dark, and it's like a descent into hell. It starts off kind of fresh and, this is a normal documentary style horror movie. Okay, cool, I've seen this 1,000 times, but as it goes on, it really takes a hell of a twist. I mean, that's the least I can say. It gets really dark, really hellish, and yeah, one of the best movies of the year. I would have ranked this higher, but all these films I have on this list are all like neck and neck, so I put this at number 7, but definitely want to check that out, and that's streaming on Shudder. All right, my next film is going to be, it's number 6 on my list. It's My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To. This was a really late watch for me. I think I watched it in December, actually. So I was trying to get some films off my list of things I need to watch. And My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To is fucking great. And I'm also, if I'm not mistaken, this is the director's first major film. And absolutely killer. It's kind of a family drama / horror. You know, the drama is definitely key in this one. Even though there is some good bloodshed here and there, like the horror element kind of takes a backseat to just like the dark family drama, you know. Put you in like the shoes of what would you do to, keep a family member that you love alive, you know, do anything you have to do that. And, even if it takes doing some really dark shit to keep that family member alive. So I don't want to say too much without, giving away spoilers. Also, it could or could not be a vampire film. I guess it's whatever way you look at it. To me, I think it's a vampire film. So, but, it could be different for you. So, but that one is streaming on, I believe that's streaming on Shudder as well. And I think it's on Amazon Prime too. So if you don't have Shudder, it's on there. But that's a really cool one. It's it'll make your day kind of drag after you watch it. It's pretty sad, but definitely worth a watch. My number 5 film is going to be Vicious Fun. Vicious Fun kind of is what the title is. It's Vicious Fun. It's lighthearted, dark at the same time, horror comedy. That is streaming on Shudder, which also might be a Shudder exclusive. Not real sure on that, but that's a really fun one. If you like a whole bunch of serial killers getting together and like having an AA type meeting and shit goes haywire from there, I think you might enjoy this one. There's a lot of blood, a lot of carnage, and a lot of good music. The thing that really caught me with this right off the bat was the Drab Majesty song that they play in the first, I think, scene where they all get together in like this bar type area for their Serial Killers Anonymous meeting, which is really cool. But it got me with Drab Majesty, one of my favorite bands, and pretty much from there, the film had me. Like, it looks good. It's I like the way it's filmed. It's just really stylish looking and dark and twisted and stuff. Really cool. And that one is streaming on Shudder, so definitely want to check out Vicious Fun. My number 4 film is Midnight Mass, which is not a film at all. It's a TV series, but in this list, I have some TV series, so, I mean, fuck it, there's so many good TV series this year. They got to be in my top list, so. But Midnight Mass, fucking great series, which is on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. I think there's like maybe 8 to 10 episodes. Can't really remember. It could be less. Anyways, if you're a fan of Stephen King, like this feels like a Stephen King film that he never wrote. It's not Stephen King, but really killer, really dark. Again, there's some vampire shit going on in here. So, like for fans of like Salem's Lot, things like that, you'll definitely dig this film here. Just be warned if you're not a person who digs a lot of like a lot of talking and stuff like that. There's a ton of fucking talking and stuff, which I like, which is cool. So if you can get past all that, if you don't really dig that aspect of films, you really like this one. So Midnight Mass, which is streaming on Netflix. Definitely want to check that one out. Let's see here. My number 2 is also a TV series on Epix. If you have Epix, it's called Chapelwaite. And Chapelwaite is loosely based off of Stephen King's short story, which was Jerusalem's Lot. So if you're familiar with that, if you're familiar with Salem's Lot, this is kind of like the prequel to all that stuff, like what happened before. So really killer vampire designs. The storyline's cool, great acting. This was one of my favorite things all year. It was like a hidden gem, I think. I don't know if a lot of people know about it. I've been trying to spread the word on it, but I can only do so much. But I think it's starting to pick up traction now. People are like, oh, cool, this is killer. So Yeah, Chapel White. I'm sorry, Chapel White, not Chapel White, but Chapel White. Really awesome. It's on Epics. So if you like vampires and fucking dark ass Stephen King shit, you definitely like this one. Okay, so my number one of 2021 is Censor. Censor is streaming on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken. Really, really killer movie. It takes place back in the time of the video nasties and stuff like that, and over in England, I believe it's England, yeah. And it's hard. It's really trippy. It's hard to like kind of throw it all into like a genre here. It's definitely horror, but it's kind of more than that. It's super trippy. Like it fucks with your mind as you're watching it. Like the aspect ratio changes. Like as you watch more of the film, like things start to change here and there. So it kind of makes you feel like you're going crazy. And it's just really dark, really well acted, well directed, written, everything. Is my favorite of the whole year when it comes to horror anyways. Like definitely want to miss that one. So that's streaming on Hulu, so definitely want to check that out. Like I said, all the links will be down in the show notes for each one of these films. That way you can check it out, find out who the director is, all that stuff. Because, I don't want to butcher anybody's name, and it makes it easier, I think. So, there's one last film that's not on this list because it's not a horror film, even though it's filmed like a horror film. But my overall favorite film of 2021, all genres, would be Pig. If you haven't seen Pig, it's one of Nicolas Cage's best movies. It's right up there almost with Mandy. It's not quite there, but it's in that same vein of being fucking awesome. So Pig, I think that's streaming on Hulu as well. It's I don't know what you would call it. It's more of a thriller, drama type thing going on there. I've seen people compare it to John Wick, but with a pig, and I don't really see that. It's not violent at all. There's maybe one violent scene out the whole film. It's just really, really good. It's dark and super emotional. Like you'll be feeling some feelings after this film's over with. So. Yeah, it's a really good, hell of a performance by Nick Cage, who's one of my favorite actors. So I definitely want to check that out too. So hope you enjoyed this list. Check everything out that I have down in the show notes. It'd be super easy. You can find everything I talked about on this episode on there. So really easy. If you're looking for other podcasts to check out, I got some recommendations for you on that as well. Necromaniacs Podcast. We got Everything Went Black Podcast. The Lurking Transmission Podcast. Hollywood is Dead Podcast. Faculty of Horror Podcast. And Colors of the Dark Podcast. All super, super killer podcasts. All very unique. Each one of them has like a different thing going. But all of them are killer. You should definitely check them out. So. Yep. Well, thanks for joining me for this special edition of my top horror films of 2021. Hope I didn't bore you too much. I want to make it short and sweet. And then the next episode will be back to regular scheduled programming with some really killer guests and stuff like that. So I almost totally forgot my number 3 choice on here. So that shit happens all the time when I'm doing like top 10 lists or any kind of list. But let me go ahead and talk about my number 3 pick. Was Brand New Cherry Flavor, which was also a TV series on Netflix. Really, really killer, really dark, really weird. Has a David Lynch type thing going for it. And if you're a fan of the the Channel Zero series that was on Shudder, and originally I think it was on Sci-Fi Channel, it's from the same people that did that are also doing Brand New Cherry Flavor. So I definitely think you should check that out. It's really, really good. One of the best shows I've seen in years. And that's streaming on Netflix. So, yeah, sorry about that. But, yeah, sometimes that happens. I get my list mixed up. It ain't the first time. But, yeah, I wanted to make sure I got that in there. And I appreciate you listening. And, yeah, tell your friends. Help spread the word. And once again, have a great start to the new year.